Jetzt hört man dich. Das ist Holger Klein.
Guten Tag.
Auf Wiederhören.
Ach, jetzt muss ich hier...
Ja, das machst du jetzt. Du hast 1 Stunde 40, nicht länger. Ich komme nur noch auf die Bühne und mache richtig Ärger.
Ich setze mich jetzt einfach mal an den Tisch, weil ich der Einzige bin.
Alright, I'm just gonna sit down here because I'm the one person to not say that much during this event. This year we thought we're gonna have this sort of like PowerPoint karaoke that we did the last few years. We're gonna replace it with something new, and so I don't have one single slide to show you. We'll see. So we've replaced the karaoke with this decentralized year in review. So instead of as a monologue or as 2 or 3 people up on stage to talk about all the stuff that has happened, we're gonna try to have the regional clubs to come up here, the airfas, and to give a brief overview in 5 to 10 minutes about what happened last year. Yeah, and I probably not gonna need much of an introduction. So you've brought a dog into the audience. That's nice. Yeah, we're gonna start now. I'm gonna just tell you who's gonna come up on stage and then let them talk, the speakers. Yeah, and so, you know, there's good news and bad news, like always, and we're gonna start with bad news, because one of us died this year. And we'll talk about him in a minute. Pananoon from Digital Courage. The person who died, he's called Jimmy Schulz, and yeah, now he's gonna talk about him.
Ich höre keinen Ton. Das hat...
Nein, es ist auch Begriff.
Komm, wir fangen nochmal an.
Audio issues.
So.
O-Zapft ist nicht mehr nur der Ausspruch nach dem Anstechen eines Bierfasses. Nein, es ist auch Begriff und Hashtag der ganzen Diskussion, die wir
O-Zapft is not something you say when you drink beer, but it's also become this groundbreaking terminology in this debate, and we need to thank the Chaos Computer Club for these 20 pages of analyses, and I recommend all of you to read that at home. I recommend everyone in this house to read this document, and he was serious about that because he was enraged that his colleagues in the German parliament didn't want to hear about digitalization. Everywhere was just like, not my department, you do you, and I don't want to deal with this. And in the parliament he joined Dorobert and Lars Klingbeil to have crypto parties for the German parliament. And with Jimmy Schulz, this wasn't some sort of superficial attitude. So maybe you've seen on his clothes there was a sticker from the C-Base, hackerspace in Berlin. This was one of his base stations when he was dealing with politics in Germany's capital, and he was always in the smoking lounge. When it comes to beer and cigarettes, I'm a communist. That was what he always used to say, and this has been transmitted through across all party lines. And yes, so digital policies that were non-existent or were so lacking in quality, that was what he fought against, and that's why he went into politics. He wanted to participate. He didn't want to talk. He wanted to improve politics. He wanted to improve digital politics. And the German Liberal Party's yearly meeting, I talked to him back then, and in this super election year, quote unquote, back then we still had a pirate party in Germany. yeah, we tried to sort of infiltrate the Liberal Party, the FDP, and had this little stand where we raged against data retention. Yeah, and he was active in Munich's in a committee against data retention. And he showed us a paper that he wanted to hand in to the party council on saying that data retention should not happen anymore if the German Federal Court, Federal Constitutional Court, would say it was unconstitutional. And so I said, well, you know, isn't this just a matter of semiotics? Couldn't we just say it like that? And then, yeah, he just jumped and ran and changed his phrasing, and then the motion passed, actually. And then we had a new coalition in Germany, and data retention was no more, thanks to the Liberal Party and his engagement. And then when he joined the German parliament, he was a very young member of parliament by comparison. And he was one of the first who had an iPad in parliament. And so he was the first person in German parliament to speak and have his notes in digital form in front of him on a screen. After that, he received a letter from a call to order afterwards for this behavior. Oh, and we're still missing audio from the video. All right. This time, I brought paper. Yeah, so this was his next speech after the call to order. And after the summer break, it was decided that iPads would be allowed in German parliament. And so Jimmy was really groundbreaking in that role. And by the way, his iPad from back then is now part of the permanent collection of the Museum of German History in Bonn. Yeah, I don't have much time here, so I just want to say, you know, you start at the bottom, right? To you do like this low work, and you try to get people to elect you, and this really isn't an easy job. And Jimmy, he had this wonderful ability to not be mad at people who ignore and say slurs about people who join political parties, especially the Liberal Party, the FDP. And so this ability, really, I would have liked to have that when Jimmy had me join this commission on digital society. And he had warned me beforehand that I would, you know, become harassed, and I I thought that would not happen. And yeah, so in this working group, this, by the way, is a symbol of how annoyed he was sometimes, where he had to, because of measures of the coalition, he had to vote against his principles when it comes to freedom online. And he looked at me and put his hand against his head and just lowered his head and raised his other hand, and doing so he voted pro limits online. Yeah, so politics isn't easy, and it's always that way and we see that on stage and off the stage here at Congress. 2 years ago, Jimmy didn't make it to Congress, and he told me he had become gravely ill. And he said, yeah, you know, he stuck to his work. He kept on working because that made him happy. And so sometimes he also came to Berlin and held speeches about the right to encrypt. And he also smoked the first legal joint in Parliament. And then in the evenings, he came over to Seabase even while his energy levels sunk. And this year, he gave an interview to a German magazine, Der Spiegel. And he said this wonderful sentence, "It's okay for me to die." And this was really good to hear for people who want to continue working with him, continue working on this digital world, which certainly isn't that new to us anymore. And for people who know what it feels like to have lost someone, I think this really reminds us to, you know, go beyond superficialities, go beyond logos and claims, and really take into consideration the how wonderful people can be. And so his work continued. He had the IGF come to Berlin, the Forum on Internet Governance. And in his memory, members of parliament from 56 countries sent a message to the General Secretary of the UN about him. And I want to mention his family here, his children and his wife. Not all people here at the 36C3 knew Jimmy, but many did. And I want to say to his family members that a lot of the people here will be with you. So goodbye, Jimmy. May the force be with you. Sorry, that was too soon. One more thing. So not in Jimmy's life and not in German parliament, it's serious business all the time. So sometimes when a member of parliament wants to start a speech, you get called at by other members. And so Manuel Höhler once shouted beer crate to Jimmy, and Jimmy asked, well, could it be a beer keg? Yeah, so Ozapft is not just something you say after you open a keg of beer.
Padelun, thank you so much. And now here are my slides. Great. This is wonderful. I think we can continue in just a few seconds, and we're going to continue with, I mean, I don't even know if you guys are interested, but I'm just going to tell you anyways, because I have a little bit of time to get a bridge here. I'm not even a member of the CCC. You can scream boo now. Nobody's interested in this. Told you that. However, we prepared something. We obviously do not manage to not do the bookkeeping. So we're going to listen to the report, the annual report that we have to do. And I asked him to get me a membership application that I can fill in while he does this report. And then I can just tell him, yes, moin, good morning. Do you want to maybe like pass us a microphone? Do you have an application for me? I just heard that. I mean, I had to print that really quickly, but how much does it cost actually? Are you still a student? Only for public transport tickets and for health insurance reasons. So in that case, it's 36 euros. Otherwise, it's 72. Amazon Prime is cheaper, you realize that, right? and they bring it to your doorstep. Well, if you don't pay, we're also going to send you mail.
Na, ich füll das dann mal
Well, I will fill this in. You guys do the year in review. Volker and Letty, you have 5 minutes, like Padaloon just had. Wonderful. All right, so I am one of the people that collects the membership data and governs it. This is our office in Hamburg, as we like to call it. This is in this small computer right next to the monitor. We have the database that's only offline. It never is connected to the internet because security and so on. I admit this picture is not completely updated. This is an Intel NUC by now, and it is a lot more cluttered and a lot more chaotic. This was the picture taken upon moving in, but all right. All right, so the data in this database, we took another look at it, and we tried to find some interesting information in it. And I got the help of Letty for this, who made like this beautiful analysis and got interesting information for you guys. Well, first I thought you were joking because the membership number of first number is 42,042, which was really, really funny. So at the moment we're at 7,900 members. Obviously we have a little jumps, usually right after Congress. But you can also see sometimes like numbers are like shrinking, and obviously like that happens because we have numbers that go back. So I was interested in what are the people, like what years were they born in, when do they join, and how long do they stay. So 86 to 96, we have about 10 members, and then all of a sudden we have these ginormous jumps. Like in 2008 we had about 400 people. And the year of Snowden of 2014, you kind of assumed that maybe people only joined and then would like unjoin and leave right after, but we still had about 900 after. And I mean, this year we're maybe lacking a little behind, but I mean, we don't know what's going to happen. The year's still a few days to go. Okay, the last graphic that I brought with you is where do our members come that are part of the CCC and where are the stronger regions? So we have these regions split up by postal codes, and obviously Berlin is quite a strong, but also Hamburg. And then we have these kind of interesting cities such as Düsseldorf and Köln. And also Karlsruhe. And why Karlsruhe? Well, of course, we have the GPN. There's a lot of people there, but also in Munich. And ever since we started being in Leipzig, also Leipzig has gotten a lot more stronger. You could potentially think that we have white spots, but no, this year we have a member from every postal region in Germany. Round of applause. We closed all white gaps. Do you have a question, Holger? No, you may continue. You have 2 more minutes. All right, so another statistic that we have not brought as a beautiful graphic is the number of mails. It kind of exploded in the past few years because we have so many new members, so we tried to automate things and all this sort of stuff. And by now we have about 2019, we had roughly 33,000 emails that we sent out. Mainly automatic ones, kind of just what's going on. You have to pay your membership fees. We got your membership fees, but we also have about 4,500 emails that we received and worked on and responded to. And you're going to have to do the math on this. That's roughly about 90 emails per day. So you kind of, you know what I mean when I do this kind of calculation. And then we meet up once a week at the office, on average. Sometimes we do it more often, sometimes less often. Like this week, for example, in one evening, in like 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on how much mails we got, we work on all of these emails. So we really are great if you inform yourself and that we can like spend our time reading other things or eating pizza. So like there's certain things like read the ccc.de/FAQ before you email in a question. And please do read the emails that we send out, because a lot of times we actually have this case where we're like, hey, when do I have to pay for my next membership fee? And there's a quote in the email where it's like, literally, like, this is a response to an email that was automatically sent, which has a date of when your membership fee is due. So like this sort of stuff. Hey, we have a problem with your GPGQ. This is the error message that we got. Please send us a response. And then underneath that, there was like another notification of why that actually is happening. So what do you see? You get like, please, like, read the emails before you respond. Be sensible about this. All right, what does it look like with your application? I'm done. I'm going to pay while doing bank transfers. It's beautiful. Great. This is the second club that I've ever joined. And who also wants to do that? There is a club table. It's showing up on the map at the CCL. You can go there. You can get a membership application if you want. You can also talk to the people, discuss problems that you have with them, and you can like go to the info desk. You can pay your membership fee directly on the spot if you want. And you can, if you have other problems, you can obviously send emails and letters. That's it from my side. I have one more question. It says that I'm supposed to like send this as a bank transfer. Are you going to send me an email that I should be doing this? Because like I need a chaos number, which I don't have yet. Yes, that's a good point. It's also stated on your application form. Oh, there was only like a little footnote. I didn't really read that. All right, so we are going to get this membership application. Then you will get an email which says, hey, welcome to the club. Here is your current temporary chaos number. This chaos number you should be using in your bank transfer. And we're also going to state in the email that where you should be sending that money. And then you're going to get an email with your permanent chaos number, which is going to be your case number for the future.
Das muss so ungefähr, ich weiß es gar nicht, 1998,
It had to be in 98, 99 when the Congress was still held in Berlin. Do you remember that? There was this room with the female hackers, and they put an N64 there with Mario Kart. And before then, I wasn't a gamer at all, but then, like, the whole Congress I spent playing Mario Kart. And ever since then, I buy game consoles to play Mario Kart and nothing else. And so even my son, he doesn't understand, like, how can you just use a Switch to play Mario Kart? Anyway. So one of our female hackers, what did our female hackers do this year? Hi, yeah, so Mario Kart, that's, long ago. A few years we weren't so sure if we still existed anymore, where we had like 3 female hackers, and now we're even bigger than the Hamburg section of the club. And so we really had an influx of membership last year, and I think this year as well. And the future is looking bright. And so since we missed out on the yearly reviews in the past few years, we're going to give you an overview here. So we have 292 hacks right now, so about 300 on a mailing list. We have assemblies and, the village at the camp, and we have so-called hats, the hats of witches. And so you know, usually you use your connections to get, you know, you to follow through on your goals. And so, yeah, this year we asked and found 5 new female hackers who wanted to participate, wanted to hold workshops. And so now, you know, we've let this sort of this connection system behind, and now we just have people who want to participate just like that, and it works really wonderful. And so, yeah, we have social media, so you can find us Hexen C or Hexen on Twitter and Mastodon. There's a picture missing. An important picture, but you know, that's why we use a Mac, I guess. So, day 4, we have the Hexen year in review, because we like to use euphemisms. What really happened at the witch trials and femicides in the present. And so usually, you know, there's this holy trinity between like sort of this holy mother image of the woman and the woman as slut, the sort of dichotomy. And yeah, what we see here is that back when the witch trials were going on, is that when women started, you know, confronting traditional views, that they were drawn across a village to, you know, punish them. And so for years and years, women at Congress have, you know, spoken up, and we still haven't reached like a gender parity here. And so during the last few years, when lots and lots of female hackers joined us, so for example, we have a FUCK, a German acronym for Women and Computer Stuff, and lots of these have associations with CCC hack spaces. Some have their own feminist hack spaces, and yeah, we'd like to see this map fill up in the future. That would be really nice. So yeah, we don't want to stop there. So 2020, more of everything, more local groups, more representation on the Easter hack. We like camping, so maybe we'll do that. Hopefully, we'll have a geek end in October in Stratum in the German city of Brunswick. And yeah, just join us, write a mail to info@hexen.org. And the only way to become a Hexe is to talk to another Hexe. So please talk to us in person, find our assembly, leave your mail, and you're in. And so an overview of our activities here at Congress, you know, it's day 2, and so you can find our Fahrplan, our event schedule on hexen.org. We have talks, we have performances about including new members into Hackspaces, for example. We have projects like the Seed Exchange, and we have workshops held by Hexen, for Hexen, but also for